I'm backing up my truck, I'm gonna hook it up, loading up my boat with all my gear. I've been working hard all week, trying to make ends meet, spending time wishing I was fishing. Whoa, Terry Wickstrom wants to take you fishing. Gather up your gear and come along. Whoa, Terry Wickstrom wants to take you fishing.
This is Terry Wickstrom. Join Karen Cullum, Greg Claudio, and me as we take you to some of our favorite fishing spots from Colorado to Minnesota, the Arctic Circle to Central America and beyond, as we revisit episodes of Mountain States Fishing and Angling Adventures Television on the best of fishing with Terry Wickstrom.
Today's angling adventure takes place really right in my backyard. Now, you've seen us travel to Alaska and Mexico and Canada, but today we're in Wyoming. I'm here with Steve Steinle. Steve, thanks for having us up here.
You're very welcome, Terry. It's a pleasure to have you.
Well, it's just a great facility, and we're really glad to be here. A little different today, too. We're going to be trout fishing, and we're not going to be doing your normal river venues, although you have moving water on the ranch.
We do. Primarily, we're a Stillwater operation, though. We have some natural beaver dams, several moving water, freestone trout streams.
But the bulk of your fishing is the 30 or so small lakes that are just beaming with trout. You've got rainbows, browns, cuts and cut bows, brook trout, and a few different species, but that's the bulk of it.
That is the mainstay of our fishing, yes.
And you know, we're just going to go out, and for most of you that have fished rivers, the majority of your fly fishing, we're going to be strictly fly fishing. And here we are, and we're secluded too. This is, you know, you've seen us go up to these wilderness areas. Well, as you're going to see as we're out here, we're going to be very private and very secluded. We're not going to put up with any other anglers.
We will see no other anglers, I assure you. It's totally private.
And for those of you that have just fished river or flowing water, you should pay close attention to how much fun you can have fishing, stillwater fishing, fly fishing for trout. May do some shore fishing, may do some float tubing, but we're going to get out. We're going to tell you more about the ranch as we go. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about the facilities and what goes on here. But right now, let's get out in the water and do a little fishing.
I agree. Let's go. You know, I think naturally in the still water, these fish are cruising. They're going to cruise these weed beds. They're going to come from outside. They'll be everywhere.
Yeah, that's really typical. You know, when we were driving out, we talked about how, see where my drag is set. We talked about how river fishing, getting used to stillwater fishing can be a new concept for people.
Definitely is.
You usually let it sink and just twitch it a little bit, kind of give it a little swimming action. Is that what you're doing? You let it sink a little more than that?
I vary it. I'd vary your depth and vary your strip.
Because you know
just
what?
See what works.
what happens, people who are used to river fishing, they're used to letting the river position the fish.
Definitely.
And they're used to also letting the river make their presentation for them, the current. And I think that's the hesitation sometimes in fly fishermen to get and make that, understand the location. Like you just talked about, as an experienced fisherman in Stillwater, you know that those fish are going to cruise that weed bed because that weed bed is their source of food.
The weed bed is a tremendous source of food. And the fish are continually cruising because, like you say, the river will provide the food for the fish in moving water. Here, the fish have to provide the movement for themselves.
Exactly. Fish on! I don't think he knows he's hooked yet. Now he does. Boy, they're strong.
And as you say, they're all fun.
And they're strong fish. I tell you, these are good, healthy, strong fish. Looks like a cut, huh?
That is a gorgeous fish.
Yes, it's
Look at the stripe on that guy.
beautiful. Well, he took that hopper deep.
He did indeed. Woo. This guy,
Oh, brilliant colors. Zoom in on that. Wow.
is that a beautiful fish or what? Cut bow.
Cut bow. I tell you what, just look at the colors on that fish. That's just vibrant and beautiful. And there he goes. Oh, nice fish.
Whoa, I don't know if I'm going to keep him gathered up or not.
I'm coming to help you.
He's in the charging mode. Another rainbow for sure.
I'll try not to drop this one so we can show it off a little bit. Oh, beautiful fish.
He is an acrobatic young fella.
Nice looking fish.
Where do
nice
you want to be,
looking
Mr.
fish.
Terry?
I'm gonna move your, go ahead, you play the fish. I'll move your fly line, I'll get down here. You play the fish.
Well, boy, he is a scrapper.
He is.
This is what makes it all worthwhile.
Hard to have a bad day doing this, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Oh, look at him jump. Wow. Oh, that's a nice, healthy fish. And I'm gonna let you come down and take the fly out
Thank you, sir.
so we get a good shot of this. This is another nice, healthy, this is a beautiful fish. Can you get it there?
I think he wants to do.
Yeah, he wanted that pretty well, didn't
Yes,
he?
he did.
Show that one to the camera. I tell you what, beautiful. Look at those fish.
Nice thick fish.
Oh, those are wonderful fish.
Good and healthy.
I tell you what, sir. Look at
Good
the
fighters.
look at the belly on him. Kind of looks like me, you know. I just, you know, I tell you what, just beautiful colors, healthy, strong fish. The jumps he took.
The jumps. That's what makes it fun.
Let's get him back in the water. And
A little indignant,
there he goes.
but he's ready to go.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
That was great. I tell you what, it's awesome. You know, Steve, we talked about the number of species of fish that are available out here: rainbows, browns, cuts, cutbows, brook trout. I don't know whether we're going to get to show all those fish on today's TV show, but in addition to the number of species of fish, you got some pretty quality fish out here too, don't you?
We certainly do. I think an angler can easily expect trout in the 5 to 6 pound range.
That's, you know, and a typical trip is 3 days.
Yes, sir. 3 days is probably our most popular trip, but we'll custom tailor it to suit anybody.
So on a 3-day trip out here, you're telling me that an average angler can expect at least to hook up with some 5 and 6 pound. They might not land them.
They might not land them, but yes, I think a hookup is definitely in the cards.
Well, you know, and the owner of this facility, by the way, is Mr. Stan Kroenke, and those of you in Denver are very familiar with that name. He's also the owner of the Colorado Avalanche and the Denver Nuggets, and in fact, he was out here just a couple weeks ago and hooked up with a pretty nice brown, didn't he?
It was a tremendous brown. That was a very special day for us. Crack of dawn, find us down on one of the ponds, and first thing you know, a little dry fly activity, and Stan hooked up with a beautiful, probably a solid 5.5 pound brown. Just a gorgeous fish.
It's a beautiful fish, and that's a great fish anywhere. And you know, there's bigger fish here yet, too.
And that fish is alive and well. We put him back in the pond. He's there growing today.
Waiting for somebody else to come up and catch him again.
Yes, sir.
There he is.
Gather that guy up. Here he
Oh,
comes.
he's coming. Oh, nice.
Whoa,
Oh,
nice
oh,
fish.
nice fish.
Nice fish.
You know, he's not sure what he wants to do yet, and I know when he wants to, I'm not going to do much about it for a minute.
No, we'll have to let him have his way for a while.
Yeah,
There he
oh,
goes. Oh, we love that.
Oh,
Powerful fish.
oh, yes, it is. Third cast on this little lake. We're up here in the mountain setting right now. We fished some various waters here on the ranch and walked out. Beautiful sunny day here at Q Creek Ranch, and cast a great big hopper out there, and all of a sudden, I don't even know what it is yet. Can you see?
I'm not sure. I haven't got a good look at this guy.
Hey, when I first time I saw him, I thought it might be a cut, but I can't tell.
I suspect a cutthroat from
It's a-
the coloration.
It's a big fish, though. Oh,
Big, powerful,
look at-
acrobatic fish.
I want the folks to see this fish. I mean, I can see him right now in the
I
water.
want to see him too.
This is a beautiful fish. Folks, you got to see this fish. Oh, look at him.
If you can bring that fella to me.
I'm going to try. He's getting a little tired, but he's still got lots of power.
You got his head up. I think you're winning.
You think so?
Well, I did. Maybe I'm premature in my judgment.
Oh, he is strong. Got his head up. Well, I got his head up. I want to try to get him closer, but I don't want to make a bad turn and lose him here at the last second.
What a morning. What a morning. This is a huge male. Gorgeous, gorgeous fish.
Camera angle. You folks have got to see the color in this fish.
Nothing like that big hopper in his mouth either.
Let me see if I can get that out of there. I get that out real easy. I'm not going to let you just show it to him. I'm going to get down here.
What a beautiful fish,
Look at
Terry.
the girth on that fish, the colors.
Shoulders.
Third cast in this lake. What a pretty.
What a gorgeous fish.
What a fight. And a hopper on the surface came up and just grabbed it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh, Lord, Lord, Lord. And there he goes.
No problem with that guy.
He is good as gold.
The strength in that fish,
Oh.
he leaves with authority.
Thank you, sir.
Beautiful fish, Terry.
Oh, I'll tell you what.
That makes it worthwhile.
Made the day already and we
The
just
day's over and we just got started.
Oh, it's just awesome.
Perfect.
Steve, in addition to the fishing and hunting operations, which we want to tell you about later, the recreational opportunities here, this is quite a large facility and it's a full working ranch, right?
It is. We're a working cattle ranch with a bison faction. We're new to the bison industry, but we're excited about it, and our herd has already grown to nearly 300 animals.
You know, when people come out here, not only can do the fishing, but they can see what a working ranch looks like if they want to. You've got, what, 10,000 head of cattle, something like that?
Usually on hand at least 10,000 head.
And how many buffalo? I mean, there's just then those buffalo, what an impressive creature, but how many buffalo?
Right now we have about 300.
It's just fun to look at, not to mention the wild animals you'll see while you're here. Looking right out the window here, we've been sitting here relaxing. Deer have been playing in the yard. We've seen elk, antelope galore. I don't know what other animals we'd see here, but...
For the large animals, that pretty well covers it. The deer, elk, and antelope, 2 species of deer. We have mule deer as well as whitetail. The elk, being in close proximity to the lodge, is always a fun feature.
And you know, we watched the deer and the elk right out the window here while we're relaxing. It's, you know, if you just wanted to sit here and relax, it's just tremendous. You know, and to see the working ranch, but then you kind of get away from the ranch part when you come up to the lodge. You actually don't see the ranch right here from the lodge itself, the workings of it, but you see this beautiful scenery with the elk and the animals, and it's really got an ambience all its own.
Thank you. We've worked at that to try and situate the lodge right here in the heart of the mountains.
By the way, they're located on over 500,000 acres, so you got plenty of room to stretch out. You know, Steve, staying here at the Q Creek Ranch has really been comfortable. I mean, you've got just excellent facilities. I mean, you've got great, how many rooms do you have here?
Terry, we have 5 rooms here, all set up for double occupancy. We can easily accommodate 10 guests here, as well as our very unique log one-room schoolhouse just located across the creek here. It can handle an additional 2 guests.
So 10, 12 is the optimal. Although you can handle bigger groups, you have the ability to expand with some other facilities you have here.
We do. We certainly do.
And it typically is typically a full house for you, though, is 8 to 12 people, something like that?
Yes, sir. Groups of 8 to 12 will fill us up, and the benefit to them is they can be totally private. It can be 100% their group.
And I'll tell you what, the bedrooms are wonderful. You talked about double occupancy. There's 2 nice beds. Each room has its own bathroom facilities and shower. You've got just a great commons area here where people can come, and and hang out and socialize together, whether you're part of the same group or not. I really like this, having this commons area where people can get together and just maybe at the end of the day share a few fishing stories, maybe embellish a few fishing stories.
That's part of the fun of the fishing trip.
I'll bet a lot of fish are caught right here in this room.
A lot of fish are caught here, and we get our best growth right here in this room.
Those fish do tend to get bigger. And not to mention, right behind us is the dining area, and the meals here are terrific. So even though we're in a secluded private area, it's very modern, very comfortable, and I tell you what, I'm going to gain a little weight while I'm here. The meals are great.
Whoa, nice fish, Steve. Beautiful rainbow.
That fish is, he's trying to keep the fish up high, work it
nice.
over the weeds. Beautiful fish.
Thick, well colored.
Oh, what a nice fish. Way to go, Steven. This is Steve Salty, our camera person, running second camera today, but the fishing's been so good, we said, why don't you fish a while, Stevie? And we know he loves to fish, and he's been doing really well. I mean, he's just learning. He's an accomplished angler who's just learning fly fishing. He actually just, probably only about the third time he's ever fly fished, and yet he's able to have this kind of success on these ponds. He is a good angler though, and he understands fishing. I'll get this up, so hopefully we'll get a chance to look at you. They're really, what a beautiful fish.
Look at this guy.
Beautiful, beautiful fish. Steve, do you want to hold it real good so we can get a close-up of you? There we go. Steve Salty, our camera person. Beautiful rainbow from Cute Creek Ranch Lodge. All right, Steve, go ahead.
Put it in there too.
They'll get the bug out and get it back in the water. Caught that on an olive woolly bugger, casting it out past a weed bed and then just working it in. And as always, we'll release these fish. This is a catch and release fishery. And that way these fish will be here for you when you come up. You know, we're only a 3-hour drive from the Front Range of Colorado up here in Wyoming, 60 miles from Casper. Just a incredible facility, comfortable accommodations, great food, beautiful scenery, a working cattle ranch, good hunting for elk, deer. There's bison on the ranch, and as you can see, spectacular, spectacular fly fishing. You got another one?
This is another good fish. Okay. Big, well-marked male.
Oh, good, strong. Oh, solid fish. Well, I don't know. It's a big fish. It's a big fish.
Big male, looks like a big male cut bow.
Oh, it's got good hook jaw on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a nice fish.
Look at the colors on that. I tell you what. Beautiful dark colors, the hook jaw. Solid big rainbow.
Nice big male.
Let's get this back in the water. And we'll kind of show him that fly. He wants to go. Yeah,
Yes, he
nothing
does.
wrong with him.
He leaves with authority.
Well, he got me wet, but that's good to see him go.
It's time now for Terry's tackle tip of the week.
This is a big, like a big woolly bugger with an orange head and orange
Rubber legs.
rubber legs. There's nothing in the world that swims like that, but lake fish, unlike, they'll get tuned in if there's a hatch or something, it's just like a river fish, but you don't have the hatches and the constant flow of insects. And what they're doing is, these big fish are cruising that lake, looking opportunistically for something alive to eat.
No
And I don't know
question.
if they think that's a crayfish, a minnow, a leech, or what it is, but they know it's alive, looks good to them, it attracts them from a distance, and they're just, I mean, some people would look at that big ugly fly and they wouldn't believe a fish would ever eat it, but that's what lake fishing can be about sometimes.
It is today.
That was Terry's tackle tip for this week, and now back to more angling adventures.
Probably shoot one single and two doubles from each station.
Pretty, and you remote control them.
All remote controlled, all
You got solar panels and batteries. And
solar panels and batteries, which gives us extreme flexibility. If you were going to be with us for several days, we wanted to have a small tournament, the course would change every evening. So you never know where the birds are going to be coming from.
That's pretty impressive. And I imagine a lot of people just love to take advantage of it.
Well, they do. You know, shotgunning and fly fishing seem to go hand in hand.
We do a lot of cast and blast. We see that a lot where guys will do a little duck hunting, a little goose hunting, and a little fly fishing. And up here you can do some cast and blast. You can shoot some clays, and you can do some fly fishing, or you can go big game hunting and shoot some.
We can do
some fly fishing.
So if you're off safety, well, this wind he may drift out a little bit.
All right, go ahead, pull.
Nice shot. Now who says you're not going to break it?
Well, Steve, I'll tell you what a trip. It was fantastic. The fishing certainly didn't disappoint. It more than lived up to the expectations. I landed some very, very nice fish and broke off a few that were even nicer. You know, before we close and go, you know, we talked about even a novice could come up here and really enjoy some of the best fly fishing of their life.
We certainly think so.
And you can help them and teach them, and all your trips are guided, so you've got a guide with somebody all the time helping them. But even an expert fisherman who thinks he's an accomplished angler, I tell you what, the challenges of landing large fish in Stillwater with the weeds and snags and some of the size and strength of these fish, it'll challenge even the best angler to land some of these big fish.
No question about it. The novice will catch fish, and the expert will be challenged.
I'll tell you what, we got to get going, but we're going to be back. I want to thank you, and I want to thank the whole Cronky operation and the Q Creek Ranch for having us up here. We just really had a great time.
Well, Terry, we certainly appreciate you coming up, and we look forward to your next visit.
We're looking forward to it too. You know, it's right here in your backyard, just like it's right here in my backyard. You don't have to fly 1,000 miles away in an airplane to enjoy a great angling adventure. The phone number's right here. The website's right here. Give Steve a call. Look him up on the website. Just really get up. It's worth taking advantage of, and join us on our next angling adventure.